here. I have started recording. Reg, please turn on your video.
So you started recording, so after that, you are going to edit this part out.
I'm not editing anything, please. I'm not a videographer. Let's start. Who goes
But how can
first?
you send all this part to the lecturer?
Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. Can you all see the PowerPoint?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. So this is the PowerPoint presentation for Lamesley Childcare. And the first person to go is...
It's me, and I'm Jeffrey. And this is BC Unique Group. We have 5 people in this group. And I'm doing the overview, like the introduction of Lamesley. So Lamesley Childcare, as the name says, it's a company, or it's like an organization that deals with children. Like, they care for children. They actually do this not for monetary anything, like they don't do for income or something. It's just more like an NGO thing. Like they just want to care for the children. Basically, that's what they do. So yeah, they're a limited charitable company with no financial benefits. Yeah. And they operate in Gateshead and Sunderland. So yeah. Their office, their services, they offer their services to a large number of children on a daily basis. They have these 3 different services they provide on the regular. They have the breakfast clubs, which starts from 7 to 8:55 a.m. They have the after school club that starts from 3:15 to 6 p.m. And they have the holiday childcare that's from 8 till 6 in the evening. And they serve food for, in fact, all of them. So it's for breakfast, for the breakfast club, snacks for the after school clubs, and both breakfast and snack for the holiday childcare. So since they don't have any financial benefit and they do not raise funds from public, or they do not even trade subsidiaries, it's mainly something like, let's just help these children, and yeah, God will provide, that kind of thing. And their major competitors are Lay Nursery. They have the Tiny View Preschool and the Bill K Preschool, etc. Actually, there are a lot, but those are the few I can mention. So yeah, so I'll stop here and
Okay.
Continue. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rashid Jimo, and I'll be talking on the competitive analysis. Lamesley Childcare is a company that operates in the childcare early education sector of the economy. One of the marketing being used by Lamesley is by sharing pamphlets and other advertising material, since the people who need daycare for their kids are mostly parents who belong to the working class group in the community. Lamesley Childcare also cites its business close to consumers markets, motor parks, restaurants, so that parents who are patronizing the markets, so that they can easily notice their daycare around the vicinity. The promotion strategy, which is being used to maintain highly competitive advantage in Lamesley, is by Lamesley having a communication with the schools in their environment to assist in offering elementary education to their wards, to the kids they are taking care of. And the most interesting part of this strategy employed by Lamesley is the fact that Lamesley is in partnership with a competitor which is Gated. Also, Gated is an early year childcare that might likely diversify fully from the current early childcare services rendered by them. So Lamesley has used this strategy to lock down the kind of businesses which is being done by Gated, and they will continue to do so, and which is the childcare of children from age 3 to 5. The security level in Lamesley Childcare is top notch, and the safety of kids are guaranteed. Only parents that are given access cards by Lamesley Childcare, they are the only one that can gain access to the place which the kids are being educated, and enough play facilities are being mounted everywhere. Enough play facilities, enough toys are being mounted so that the kid can play efficiently. Thank you.
My name is Uche Chukwubaka. Doing a presentation on the pestle analysis of the Lamesley Childcare case study. And we're going to look at some factors that some factors that contribute or aid the Lamesley childcare or the childcare industry. We're starting with the political factors. The UK government, we can say that the UK government is quite influential, or it plays a very huge role in the childcare industry. Is this a positive role? And yes, it is. We can say it's a positive role because they encourage the childcare industries, Lamesley Childcare and other childcare childcare providers. They encourage them to take insurance policies. This is in order to mitigate against uncertainties, and also encourage them to adopt a good taxation policy. And going forward, we're looking at economic factors. According to Statista 2021, the economic growth for Lamesley was 4%. What does this mean economically? It means that there was room for growth, and that there were things put in place for the growth of the childcare industries. Moving on to social factors that either affect or influences or plays a huge role in the Lamesley childcare industry, in the Lamesley childcare. There's a good, like I said earlier, the government plays a high or a big role, an influential role in the childcare industries. What this means is that the childcare industry or Lamesley can bank on this, or can use this privilege to expand, because we already know that social and environmental factors influences child development. There are things that have been put in place by the UK government to ensure that there's room for improvement in the childcare industry. Looking at the technological factor, there is room for growth in investing in technology. What this means is that investing in online education or equipment, or this is in order to aid, in order to improve the performance and services of childcare industries. And then looking at legal factors, what legal factors have been put in place, or what legal factors do we have that will either aid or that will either help or not give them the opportunity for growth. Childcare industries, for this childcare industry, There are lots of things that have been put in place, not just for the industry, but for the kids, for the children themselves. Legal factors, there's Health and Safety Childcare Act of 2006. There's a Food and Safety Hygiene, because Lamesley offers breakfast club, yes. As far as there's food, there's supposed to be a food and safety hygiene regulations which are put in place to make sure that the kids receive or the recipients of the food or whatever it is, they receive top-notch, and where it is being prepared is well regulated. There's Children and Families Act of 2014, and all these are put in place to ensure that there's adequate performance, and then there's adequate provision of everything that enables the children to grow very well in the company, in the environment. And environmental factors, what environmental factors would we say affects the childcare industry or Lamesley childcare industry positively or negatively? It could be transportation, it could be location, it could be communication barrier. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Gifty. I'm presenting on challenges of childcare services. And some of the challenges are recruiting qualified staffs, problem faced by managers and staff, inadequate funding, and then uncompetitive pay rates. So first, I'll talk about the recruiting of qualified staff. So recruiters are facing difficulty in recruiting level 3 qualified staff and increasingly level 2 qualified staff. So let's go to the problem faced by managers and staff. Some of the problems are to deal with too much paperwork and not getting too much time in other works too. So let's move to the other problems. Inadequate funding, which is leading to an increase in the use of apprentices, reduction in the number of experienced or qualified staff. And the last one is uncompetitive pay rates. So it's the low pay rate as compared to other sectors, along with loss of motivation and passion. Okay, so that's all I can say for the challenges of the childcare services. So I had 4, and that's the recruiting qualified staff, problem faced by managers and staff, inadequate funding, and then uncompetitive pay rate. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Regina, and I'll be talking about the strategic set of recommendations for Lamesley Childcare. One is Lamesley Childcare should solicit for funds from private individuals to provide funds for their expansion. This is with concern with the clubs for the childcare, which will help or assist them with their growth and development, and to employ more staff so that they are able to provide extensive service to their customers. And another point is introducing customer relationship between customer relationship management to improve communication plan between Lamesley employees and their customers. For example, is the online forum, to create an online forum where employees can easily share information and get response back between the staff and the customers, and also provide employees with regular feedback. This can help the employees feel empowered as well as connected to the rest of the team, which brings about team working. And also it makes it easy for customers to communicate with the employees. Also, they should set some criteria for rewards, incentives, and promotion to employees for recognition, which also helps with the competitive pay and brings about, it makes the staff build a sense of security in their value to the company, motivating them to continue great work. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We've come to the end of the presentation. I'm going to